Bellator Featherweight Tournament semifinal number 1, Kenny Foster versus Daniel Straus. Jimmy, our tale of the tape.
You see here the records are highlighted, but Daniel Straus, 15 wins, 9 of those decisions. He's used to long, grueling, difficult fights. Don't know if this will be any different.
We now send it inside the Bellator cage to Michael Williams.
Bellator Fighting Championships on MTV2 from Cocopa Resort Casino now present the first semifinal in the Bellator Featherweight Tournament, sponsored by Dylan Dog. Dead of Night in theaters April 29th. Now set for 3 5-minute rounds. We introduce first the red corner at 5'8", weighing in at 146 pounds. His professional record, 9 wins, 2 defeats, fighting out of Cortland, New York, introducing Kenny Foster. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the blue corner at 5'7", weighing in at 145½ pounds. As a professional, he stands at 15-3 from Cincinnati, Ohio, Daniel Straus. In charge of the action, referee Jason Herzog.
In the semifinal round of Bellator Fighting Championships, all fights are scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Elbows to the head are not allowed, neither standing nor on the ground, and there is no kicking or kneeing the head of a grounded opponent. The winner of this bout is through to season number 4 Featherweight Tournament final round, the bell in round number 1. Tonight's Bellator Fight Clock is sponsored by Dylan Dog. Dead of Night in theaters April 29th.
I think this fight might belong to whoever can dig deeper and has the most heart.
Kenny Foster is in the red trunks. Daniel Straus is in the white trunks.
Daniel Straus, a gigantic featherweight. He was big at 155. Oh, big overhand lefts.
Foster coming in aggressively.
Now both these guys have outstanding wrestling backgrounds.
Straus has such a philosophical attitude to MMA. Extremely humble. He said simply in MMA, against any opponent at the professional level, you can make a mistake and you can get beat.
He has such a unique attitude. A lot of guys talk about how good they are, how much better they are than your opponent. He says, I'm not as good as him. He's stronger, he's better. The only thing I can do is outwork him. That's the attitude he always has. He goes, if I'm better, why should I train?
Along those lines, Jimmy Straus, 9 of his 15 pro MMA wins, including his quarterfinal round victory in this tournament versus Nazareno Maligari, have come by way of decision, something he's really proud of.
Now this is where Straus said he was better. He says, I'm great in the scramble. He's here seizing the back.
I've never talked to a fighter who's as proud as going the distance as Daniel Straus. He says anybody can finish, but it takes a unique fighter to grind out a 15-minute unanimous decision win. Foster's not thinking about 15 minutes. He wants to end this quickly.
I don't think he ever does.
Foster wrestled at the NCAA Division II level at Carson Newman College.
Foster very dynamic with his punches right now.
Said that he has really gained confidence since his win versus Eric Larkin, former Division I wrestling All-American.
Overhand lefts, both guys southpaws. You see a lot of that overhand left. It's hard to time a southpaw, even if you are a southpaw.
Foster holding position, Straus staying calm with his back against the fence.
So far, when they've been wrestling, when they've been grappling up against the cage, they've kind of stalled each other out. Both guys have great grappling backgrounds.
Knee by Straus, left to the body by Foster, another left. Knee by Straus. Good turn of position by Daniel Straus, explosive there.
And strong, like I said, he's a gigantic, gigantic featherweight.
Daniel Straus started his pro MMA career 0-1, then was 1-2. Since then, he has won 14 of 15 fights, including 11 in a row. And Jimmy, I know that's to your philosophy. You say get your losses out of your system early.
I think that helps. I think it's not a bad thing to start out 5-1. Something like that, you know it's part of the sport. You can go on, you can keep winning.
Foster catching that, really feels that he does have the power advantage in this fight, something that Straus conceded, and he wants to use that power. He said, if I find myself on my back, I'm going to power out.
He's still throwing that overhand left every time they get inside. Oh, good throw, but back on the feet by Foster.
Beautiful throw by Straus, and you saw the agility there of Foster.
Foster a little bit smaller, maybe not quite as powerful as Straus, but you can see excellent balance, excellent timing. Hard to take him down, even harder to keep him down. You saw Eric Larkin, his last opponent, national champion wrestler at Arizona State, was not able to take him down. And when he did, he got one takedown, he popped right back to his feet, never able to hold him down.
Foster said that he felt that if he can get this fight on the ground, he'll really be comfortable. He said that he respects Straus' striking. He just doesn't think he has much of a ground game, certainly doesn't have much of a submission game.
Oh, but he's great in the scramble. We saw that against Malagari, who is an excellent Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He was one step ahead of him in the scramble. Big knee!
Flying knee there by Straus, and then the takedown.
I think Foster might be hurt. I can't really see his eyes, but I think that knee might have hurt him.
To the final minute of round number 1, our first featherweight tournament semifinal.
And this has been a close fight.
Body lock held by Foster in a very defensive position.
A strong last 45 seconds, minute could win this fight. That was a good knee. I'm sorry, this round, that was a good knee. You talk about stealing rounds. It's saving your best for the last minute, last 30 seconds, and that's what Straus is doing.
Foster trying to sit up, trying to power up. See Straus on one knee, letting go again with the right hand to the body.
Well, it's a matter of how much do you want to let go with your hands here and give your opponent a chance to scramble up against the fence.
Sneaky left there by Straus. That's a bigger left by Daniel Straus.
See Straus trying to get space with his forearm to land those strikes. I don't think he's going to have time to do it.
Straus applying the pressure. Foster trying to get to his feet.
We see the throw by Straus. Beautiful hip throw, but Kenny Foster right back to his feet. And then the knee by Straus. You see here, boom, but hit him with the flat of the thigh, not the point of the knee. We might have had another Patricia Mata on our hands.
Round number 2 of this first Bellator featherweight tournament semifinal. 3 judges scoring cage side for the Citizen Potawatomi Nation Athletic Commission. Jimmy, as always, you have the unofficial scorecard.
Well, I gave that one 10-9 to Daniel Straus. I thought he stole that round in the last minute. Very close round, though. Could have gone either way.
Kenny Foster is in the red trunks. Daniel Straus is in the white trunks.
Now, one important thing to keep in mind, we know these guys have great gas, especially Daniel Straus, but it is 99 degrees out here. That takes a lot out of you. Can these guys stay sharp for 15 minutes?
Jimmy, you fought 5 times as a professional in MMA outside. Was there any adjustment you made?
Well, I was lucky, well, unfortunate, however you want to put it. I usually fought last or near last. I was usually in the evening or at night. I never had to fight in the heat of the day like this. Fought out in the desert more than once.
Many of you know this, but for those of you who don't, Yuma, Arizona is on West Coast time. So we are starting still really late afternoon, not even into the evening. Straus trying to push back Foster.
And this is what he's good at, pressure, just putting his weight on guys, grinding them out. I think Foster wants space. He's very explosive. I think he has the slight striking advantage. He wants to be out in the middle of the cage where he can use it.
Live next Saturday night right here on MTV2, it is Bellator 42, which will feature both light heavyweight tournament semifinal round bouts, plus Bellator's heavyweight world champion Cole Conrad versus UFC veteran Paul Bointello. The broadcast will begin at our regular Bellator starting time, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central.
Straus kind of changing it up, went more with a Muay Thai stance there for a second. Foster landing well with that uppercut.
Inside kick by Straus. Foster tying up his man immediately, pushing Straus back. Kick by Foster.
Oh, good overhand left.
Superman punch to the left. And there's a big throw by Straus, his second throw in this fight, that one more effective.
Gets the takedown. You see Foster just scrambling out. Now in front headlock position, that's not going to be easy to finish. Can't throw any knees to the head from here. You can throw them to the shoulders and arms, but that can be risky. If you screw up and hit him, it can cost you a point.
Bit of a stalemate at the moment.
Good overhand lefts by Foster.
These are 2 very tactical, very cerebral fighters.
Now this is where they ended the first round. Straus on top in this sitting position. Looks like he's trying to get back there again. Foster controlling the wrist, trying to come out.
Foster trying to explode to his feet, and he does. Straus pushing his man right back down, trying to maybe slip on a guillotine, Jimmy.
It looks like
Daniel Straus.
Looks like he's going for it here, but it's awkward. It's a tough position to get in.
Straus holding the guillotine position, but hasn't yet tried to cinch it.
See, that's what Foster's worried about. That's why he doesn't sit up forward. He doesn't want to give him the guillotine. He's right now over the arm, and he feels confident that he can get out of it. But if he sticks his head forward, slips into a deep guillotine, he doesn't want that, and he goes to his back.
Foster tried to get to his feet there, held down by Straus. Body shots now from the top by Daniel Straus, and Foster is given his back. And here comes the rear naked choke attempt from Daniel Straus.
Well, he has it, but he doesn't have hooks in.
Straus just looked over to his corner.
More of a wrestling position, and Foster pops back to his feet.
Had the back, you can see him thinking about the rear naked, but he never really tried to slide it in.
Well, against someone as explosive as Foster, it's really hard to get the hooks in. He was chilling out and back for a second, and Foster just spun right back up.
Oh, that was nice by Foster. Both fighters to the center of the Bellator cage. Feinting from both men. Bouncing the step now of Kenny Foster.
See, it's now Straus initiating and Foster reacting.
Foster stepping in with the right to the body. It's getting late here in round number 2. You know, both fighters want to leave the judges with a big impression. Feint again by Straus.
Only 10 seconds left. Who's going to end strong?
Good left hand by Straus as he moves forward. The takedown again by Daniel Straus. Heading into our third and final round of this opening featherweight tournament semifinal. Kenny Foster versus Daniel Straus, round number 3. Jimmy, on your scorecard.
I gave both rounds to Daniel Straus, 10-9, very close rounds, but Foster really needs to impress in this third round.
Feint by Foster. Good outside kick by Kenny Foster. He is in the red trunks. Daniel Straus is in the white trunks. Step in right hand by Straus. Swing and a miss.
You see the stance of Foster. He's back toward the cage. He's waiting for Straus to come in to try and time the big shot. But Straus is dynamic. It's not easy to time someone like him. See here, yeah, trying to time that overhand left. But Straus, good head movement.
Straus missing with that kick.
Foster comes up short. You know, Straus not pushing the pace with his wrestling like he did against Malagari. I think he knows Foster's hard to take down. He doesn't want to burn a lot of energy.
A look away punch there by Daniel Straus talking to his corner. Now Foster trying to take advantage. Good scramble.
Now that's exactly what I'm talking about. He went in for a takedown, didn't get it, ends up in a war.
Bit of gamesmanship there by Straus, looking to his corner, then the look away right hand.
Nice knee up against the cage as well. Straus being a lot more efficient. Malagari was easier to take down. He got in a lot of scrambles once they were on the ground, but I think he knew once he got in, he was going to take him down. Foster, you don't have that guarantee. He's an outstanding wrestler.
These fighters in the cage just after 6 p.m. local time here in Yuma, Arizona. Again, when we came on the air at 6 o'clock, 99 degrees. Obviously, these fighters are very fit, Foster and Straus, but you wonder, is this taking it out of them?
Oh, it has to be. Especially Straus had a very tough weight cut. Not easy for him to make 145. And Foster, not exactly a small 145er either. You know, our champ Joe Warren was at the weigh-ins, and he said, man, these guys are monsters. They tower over me.
Open guard held by Foster.
And Daniel Straus right now putting in a Joe Warren type performance. Sticky, tight, never lets his opponent out. Never giving him any space. Good step over.
Trying to move in the side control is Daniel Straus, but caught in the half guard of Kenny Foster. And again, Foster telling us, Jimmy, that he felt very confident that if he found himself on his back that he could explode out. But again, we're deep into round 3, and it is hot.
Now, fighters say a lot of stuff until they're actually in it. It's not easy to explode out of this position when you're trapped up against the cage against a guy as big and powerful as Daniel Straus. Looking for a guillotine position. I don't think he's going to crank too hard for the guillotine here. He's in good position, wants to keep Foster here, wear him down.
Hammer fist with the right to the body by Straus.
Now cranking for a Darce choke. Good Darce choke position, might go for it here. Don't know how much he knows on the ground.
Foster covering up. Straus not trying to lock in the choke, but holding position. Almost into a front face lock position. Now going for the guillotine is Daniel Straus.
Stepping right into it. Can't see how deep it is from here. It looks tight.
That is very tight. Straus having the finish, and there is the finish. Daniel Straus is through to the featherweight tournament final just like that.
That's an outstanding performance. Grinding out the entire time, but still went for the finish when it presented himself. That's championship material, Sean.
The fighter who prides himself on not finishing finished in round number 3.
And he finished in a fight where he was on my scorecard ahead. All he had to do was wait it out, but he didn't. He saw the opportunity for the finish, and he took it. Great job by Daniel Straus. 2 times in the Bellator cage this season, 2 impressive performances. You see it here, just left the neck out, and Daniel Straus took it right here. Good hip pressure, putting his hips all the way into it. Kenny Foster had nowhere to go. You see it one more time. Man, great job keeping his hips very, very tight. Pushing into the fence. Man, no choice for Kenny Foster but to tap. Great job by Daniel Straus.
With Jimmy Smith's fan club in attendance, Daniel Straus is now through to the final. He has won 15 of his last 16 bouts and a dozen straight wins.
Ladies and gentlemen, by way of a guillotine choke, the tap officially comes at 3:48 into round number 3. The winner by submission, now the first finalist in the Bellator featherweight tournament, Daniel Straus.
That victory advances Daniel Straus to the final of Bellator's Season 4 featherweight tournament, where he will face the winner of tonight's Wilson Hayes versus Patricio Pitbull semifinal. And remember, the winner of that final will face Joe Warren for Bellator's 145-pound world title.